Hi everyone, it's Jerusha. I'm here with you to show you a demonstration of crocheting. I've not been formally trained in crocheting, but I've been looking it up online and seen videos of it and not seen very good videos of up close what's going on when people are, quote, crocheting their dreadlocks. For the loose hairs that are on the outsides of the dreadlocks, which can happen when your dreads are immature, and it can also happen when your dreads are mature. I believe, according to Elise Bush, she demonstrates on one of her videos that she is crocheting loose hairs from the outside of her mature dreadlocks that are over 3 years old. All right, so I look for... in my dreadlocks, I look at them and I look at the, this is not for root maintenance. This is for the outsides of the dreads to make them tighter. So I look at them and I see whether there's long hairs on the outsides of the dreads. That would be not like this, where these are short hairs. But it would be kind of a furry kind of look. Like there are a few long hairs here, but not many. So the other thing I look for with my dreads before I go ahead and do this crocheting, which is nothing like actual crocheting, I've been told. It's not like anything to do with the process of actual crocheting. You're just using something that looks like a crochet hook, but it's usually, this is the small one from Dreadlocks. This is the only one that Dreadlocks sells for dreadlocks. And it looks like it is an actual crochet hook, but it's too small to use for crocheting projects. Here's an example. You can kind of barely see these hairs. These are long enough to, you could crochet these, okay, on the outsides of this dreadlock. There's some more, but really dreadlocks usually look more furry than these. I have been crocheting them today, so there won't be that many that you can see, but for the dreads, they would be like about 1 inch long, at least, multiple hairs, many hairs. So you don't want to go and crochet your dreadlocks when they're wet, okay? Because your hair is like really elastic when it's wet. And you could just, you're going to be putting some tension on them, and you could just, it's just not good. You could rip them. Okay, you don't want to crochet your dreads when they are hard and really solid. And if you put an actual crochet hook, this is the Dreadlocks 1/8/1.5 millimeter. If you put this through the dread, and this has got kind of a point, but not the kind of point that you would actually cut, you put this through the dread like this, goes through easily. And if you can't put it through easily, you might kind of twist it, like twirl it here with your fingers to make it go through. But you can also go like this. Just feel it so that there's no resistance when you put it through. And then you're paying attention to where the hook is on here and what direction the hook is in relation to the hairs you want to pull through. You want to, a lot of people suggest putting the hook towards your thumb here and then putting the loose hairs, wrapping them around that hook like I just did there. And then pulling kind of down. Then you kind of pull it through with the loose hairs that you just got. Kind of pull it through and swirl it. You don't want to just like rip it through, okay? You're not going through like a sewing machine, like that, okay? I see a lot of people doing that online, and I'm not sure. I don't want to disparage them because they may know what they're doing, but I don't quite get it because none of the crochet hooks that I have gotten for dreadlocks are ones that you can just do that. And also you want to look where the hairs are that you're getting. You want to wrap them around and then make sure you grab them. You don't just stick a hook through your dreadlock just multiple times. You don't just do that, okay? You want to actually like know that you're grabbing some hairs when you go through, because you're not going to just keep going through back and forth. I mean, right here, I go through here, and then I make sure that the hook is against my thumb, and I'm going to pull some through. And a lot of times you'll see like some longer ones, when you pull it through, they'll be sticking out here in the same hole that you just pulled them through. These dreads that I'm showing you really don't need to be crocheted, okay? And it's really a personal thing. I like quote crocheting my dreadlocks. I think we should use a different word, because I'm pretty sure it's not anything close to crocheting in terms of crocheting and knitting yarn. But we're using a crochet hook. It looks like a crochet hook, okay? So I really enjoy doing it, but I can't do it on my dreads very much, partly because my dreads are pretty tight and I use gels on them. So if there's like a hard kind of feeling to them and you really don't feel like you want to push something through there, then you just don't, okay? You don't need to do this. But I have not seen good videos on the process. The videos I see, even by people who have mature dreads that I believe wouldn't be doing something bad to their own dreads, they're just like pushing it through back and forth like this really fast. And then they say that the part that they just crocheted feels like tighter there right after they did it. And I don't understand that. Okay, maybe I'm just uninformed. Maybe I just don't understand. But I don't believe you're supposed to crochet the dreadlocks with jabbing it through, straight through, like multiple times, like really fast. I just don't believe that that's the case, but correct me if I'm wrong. So I am basically doing something very simple that you will see. You will see I'm going through. I'm going through where there's hairs on the opposite side that are long enough. I'm twirling around at least one time around there, and then I pull them through. They come out the other side. Then, if I want to, I can go through again and take them from the other side and just kind of pull them through again. So I'm basically weaving this hair, these long hairs, I'm weaving them back and forth through this dreadlock, okay? And that's why you don't want to do it too much, and that's why you don't want to do it all the time, because you're, as far as creating a hole in your dreadlock, I feel like when you do this, if you do this slowly, you're pushing a hole through. You're not actually removing any of the dreadlock. Usually you're not even ripping any of the hairs if you're not forcing it through. So you're just kind of going with whether or not there's any resistance there. So you're pushing it through. There's a little bit of a point on the end of this, but not enough to cut. It's not a sharp point. And then you pull it through. Okay, and I'm not really obsessive about these little loops, because pulling little loops through, you're just pulling them to the inside of the dread. The long hairs are the ones that I kind of like to get every once in a while, and just really doing this, like if each dread, they say once a month, okay, but some people don't do all the dreads when they do them, so you know, I'm sure that there's plenty to do if you want to do them, if you don't want to do them all in the same day. But for me, I get a sense of when my hair is free of product and soft enough to actually do this. Otherwise, I will not do it. I don't care how furry the outsides of the dreads are. It just doesn't feel right to put this through my dread, wrap this other, longer hair around it and pull it back through. It just doesn't feel right when I have somehow it's too tight, the dreads are too tight, or there's too much product that's there to make them hard. So I will not do it with my dreads when they are too hard. It just doesn't, it's almost like you can't force it through. And also your thumb is there, so you can jab into your thumb. And if you're jabbing through and it goes with such force into your thumb, that's probably a good sign that your dreads are too dense or too hard with product to actually get this accomplished in a good way for your dreads. You don't want to be ripping your hairs. You don't want to be ripping your dread hairs. None of them. Okay, your dreads are made out of hairs. They're supposed to be long. The tensile strength has to do with how long the hairs are. And if you're ripping them, it's going to weaken them the more you do it. Okay, so I do have a tendency to like want to do it too much, but I can just tell when my hairs are getting ripped or if the dread is too tight to crochet it. I can just sort of tell, and I just have to distract myself and be like, you know what? These dreads can't be crocheted right now, okay? And, you know, I don't really need my dreads to look perfect. And everyone's got their own ideas about, you know, kind of how they want their dreads to be or what they want to accept about their dreads. But I really wanted to show you guys a video that I feel like is realistic and also gives a show of exactly what we're talking about and what we're doing. And the people who do the jabbing it through, maybe they're like really experienced with this, like twisting the hook towards the direction you're going to do. But I just don't understand how you could possibly do it that fast and still be twisting the hook to grab the hair on the other side and pull it through. Since the dread is pretty tight, it's hard to actually leave the hair that you're pulling through in the inside of the dread. Usually you're gonna pull a lot of the hair through to the other side, okay? Then you're gonna have to figure out what to do there on the other side. See, I didn't pull the whole thing through. It's still sticking out there. But you're gonna have to figure out what to do with that hair when you get it out there. You're gonna be like, okay, do you pull it from the other side or like somewhere around the other part of the dread? You twist the dread. But it's like an individual process. I've seen some people that are professionals on here doing it, but I still don't get a sense of exactly, are they going through and doing this weaving kind of thing that I'm telling you, or are they doing something different? This is when they're doing like brand new dreads too, which this is a different, I believe that might be a different situation. When you're doing freshly backcombed dreads and you're kind of tightening them a little bit there. I don't have any experience with that. These dreads are more than 3 weeks old, or 3 months old, sorry. These dreads are more than 3 months old, and I have been doing quite a bit of palm rolling to them. So they are really tight for 3 months old. And I have crocheted them myself, probably 2 sessions. This is the 3rd session total that I would have done it. And I've also had them professionally maintained where she does some crocheting when she maintains them. I've done that. Had her do that once, and a second time she did it just to tighten up the roots of some of the ones that she had interlocked from the beginning that were getting loose at the roots. All right, well, I hope this was helpful, and let me know if there's any other good crochet dreadlock videos out there. Please put a link in the comments below, because I'm interested in seeing specifically what's going on here when you go through and pull it through, because I don't want to rip my hairs. I don't want to rip the hairs I'm pulling through, and I also don't want to rip the hairs that are in the dreadlocks. So, sorry I wasn't able to show you any that are like super long, because I have been curating these dreads today, but I did want to just give you this video. All right, I hope you like it. I hope it is helpful for people who are interested in knowing exactly what you would do if you were going to do this to your dreads.